Good afternoon. Our top focus. The drafting committee of the Lokpal anti-corruption bill is meeting for the first time exactly a week after Anna Hazare won the day after a 4-day fast. The government gave in to most of its demands, including equal representation of government and civil society members in the drafting committee. The first meeting of the committee that will write India's new anti-corruption law comes a week after Anna Hazare's huge campaign for the Lokpal bill. Anna Hazare sat on a fast in Delhi's Jantar Mantar for 4 days, which eventually culminated in the government giving in to almost all of his demands. Anna Hazare wants a tough anti-corruption law to be drafted by a panel in which half the members are from civil society, which eventually did happen. But this was only made possible by huge support to Anna Hazare's campaign from across the country and even from across the globe, which united people like perhaps never before. People sat on fasts in all major cities across the country. They ran online campaigns. Several activists even joined the campaign, which many called a new freedom struggle. Well, NDTV's Rahul Srivastav will be tracking all those developments. We know that the meeting has already begun. Rahul, we know that there's been talk of a lot of differences over the base draft of the bill. But what's really expected from this meeting today?
But a fortnight ago, this did not seem look like a possibility. But yes, an unprecedented development that the people's representative and the government's representative are sitting together at this moment and are talking business regarding a law which will be framed by the people and the government's people put together. And that's unprecedented. But beyond the romanticism of the whole thing, it's going to be a very uphill task, and it's a very long road ahead for this move as far as a draft for a bill and the act is concerned. What is very important is that there has to be a need to look at all the points of convergence, because the points of conflict between the people as people's active representatives and the government representatives and the entire political class are many. What one can say that today in this meeting, the government has gone in extremely wary, slightly combative, while the civil rights activists are extremely aggressive as far as their demand is concerned. The entire political class, Bani, is watching with bated breath. There is a sense of disquiet, which there is also a sense of discomfort that how can people's representative take over the job of framing laws. Yes, one of the biggest stumbling block in starting the negotiation will be how to start the negotiations, because the activists want that all proceedings should be on video cameras. The government is not very happy with the idea. The second biggest problem is what should be the draft base for as far as the negotiations are concerned. The activists want that their draft, which they have prepared, should be the base draft. But the government has serious problems with that. The problem is that each point is going to be a hugely contested point by the government, because the government has already taken notes, and it has realized that at each point, the draft prepared by the activist is radically different from what the government really wants the Lokpal bill to be. In that scenario, on each point the government will have to contest. And since the government will have to contest, the activists can always go out and talk about the fact that the government is opposing certain elements in the Lokpal bill which can combat corruption. And perhaps that is going to be a major testing point. The other important issue is going to be that let's look at the broad contours of what this bill should be. That can it be also the fact that the Prime Minister's office should be included or not? The activists say yes. Can the Lokpal have the powers to go in suo moto, lodge complaints? The government says no. So all these issues will get into this. But today's meeting is largely going to be a meeting on how to go about. And I can certainly say that the political class will wait and watch, because this political class eventually is going to get the bill. The opposition is going to be very wary. Opposition has not been involved by the government in the exercise of talking to Anna Hazare or setting up the issue of what the committee is going to look like. And then also the fact that there has been no inclusion of any opposition member in the drafting committee. So the opposition is going to get the first look and the first feel of the entire issue when the bill comes to Parliament.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.